I can't do anything in spirit.
What's up, guys?
How's it
Hey,
going?
I'm
we're
about to start.
playing.
Oh, you're doing the Ocarina of Time randomizer?
Yeah,
How is it?
all right. I've been playing for like 5 hours.
Our timer
Oh my
is at
God.
5 hours and
We haven't found bombs yet.
That sounds tricky.
We're like 3 items away from being like good to go though. But we've been that many items away for like. What were you gonna do, Troy?
I'm starting my dev stream.
Ooh, I'll probably watch that.
I'm really behind of this class. I'm about to finish the problem set for week 1, and they're on week 4, and they've already had a midterm exam.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's intimidating.
yeah. I mean, I'm just auditing this class, so I don't give a fuck, but and I bet they offer it in the spring too, so I can just like, but I lose access to the class in November 20th. I'm also out of breath right now, cause
Are you riding your bike?
yeah, I was.
Nice.
I underestimated how long it's been since I rode a bike. I should have gotten like an easier bike. I have like it's like a pretty hardcore bike, I think, and I think it's a little too big for me, but oh well.
What makes it more or less hardcore?
It's just like the posture of it. So
Uh,
like I think like casual bikes, it's like the seat is lower and the handlebars are higher, so you kind of sit upright.
uh-huh.
But you can't generate power as efficiently, so you can't go as quickly. But it's like easier to maneuver and it's easier to ride for a long time. Also, they
Uh,
usually have like wide handlebars, but mine is like the
okay.
seat is kind of high, so you have to like lean over. So you're really aerodynamic and you can generate power better. But it's like the posture is like tough. Also, the
Mm-hmm.
handlebars are narrow, so it's like harder to maneuver, and you have to like keep going to be stable. Assume S is a string of lowercase characters. I already forgot how to do this. Oh, I can't even submit this because it's overdue.
Oh, it won't let you check your answers?
I don't think it will. I mean, I can just check it myself, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But
Fire arrows are just a heart piece, Zach.
okay.
I guess I'll grab that.
fire arrows are just a
Um,
heart piece. So sad.
light light arrows is a bundle of arrows.
Wow.
That sucks. That's funny though.
I'm going back to kid and completing decade tree.
Man, I don't want to do this.
Either have to hope we find some item that lets me progress somewhere else, or to get 30 skulls and get silver gauntlets so I can do something in Spirit Temple. could have gone to GTG, I guess, but you already went through most of that.
All right. Now I'm gonna eat. I'll be right back.
All right. How do you do this room again? It's been so long. Oh, I see. Navi was actually useful.
How have you been, Zach?
I've been pretty alright. Just taking the last month pretty easy with not really having a job. Because
Cause
TGL's been
TGL?
moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're opening up early this coming month.
Okay, that's cool. It's good that it's not taking too long.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. Should be a lot better than what it was at Spider House.
Man, I don't want to do this.
Oh, that's what they expect you to do. Oh, I messed up.
I figured as much, Edgar. I'm just being lazy right now.
Oh. I'm talking to Troy.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't want to do this.
Uh,
I'm pretty sure I just have to go back and look at the old exercises to see what they wrote exactly. I kind of remember you writing something though that did not show up in like
yeah, I feel like what you wrote was something that actually you got from me, so I feel a little bit guilty.
yeah, well, I mean like I was just guessing like I could probably go back and well, I don't know if I could go back and find it because it's probably in like a YouTube chat. But I know I'm like on the right track more or less.
The thing is that I don't think you've been taught what I showed you, which is a much
Yeah, I
easier
haven't.
way to write
Because otherwise I have to
a.
yeah, otherwise I have to do like this whole like if
Yeah, you'd have to write like if letter equals
yeah,
this, letter equals that, letter equals this.
it's for letter in.
Yeah, for letter and the wait for letter and what?
I have
What are
to
you trying to write now?
I have to
I
like
can't see. I'm like on the phone. I'm about
pff.
to go on a walk with Anish and Olive.
So it's like that. I assume that there's like some string s, and then I write for letter in s, and then I'll do like if letter a or e or letter I. Oh, it already does it for me.
You're doing like equals equals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
O or letter equals u.
Yeah, I mean, I can show you the thing later, but I think for now you should kind of stick to things what you know because the thing that I would show you like something that it's like a trick or two ahead of what is something you should be doing. But yeah, I saw that you were having problems pasting into the interpreter, and it can get kind of funky trying to edit more than like a single line of code to the interpreter. Anyways, I'm gonna go on my walk.
All right. I just got
All
back
right,
from
maybe
a
I'll
bike
check back.
ride.
Oh yeah. Troy
Yeah.
got his bike.
Oh, cool. Where'd you
Oh, hello,
go?
Noosh.
Let's go
Ha
biking.
have fun on your walk.
He says,
Bye
"Have fun on the walk."
bye. Bye.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, I'm back. I'm gonna mute
Hi.
myself because I'm eating. But did you find anything new?
No. I cleared Deku Tree, and I've just been collecting skulls now to try and get to 30 skulls.
That sucks. Oh,
Where was that third Skulltula? On London Ranch?
it's
Oh,
like,
yeah, I got it.
oh, okay.
Stupid crows. I'm at 23. I mean, the only thing I have left is iron boots. We checked all the mini games and everything, right? Both archery games. Did we do bowling yet?
No, because you need bomb bag to bowl. So you could bowl, but I can't, and it's still not in logic for us yet.
We'll do some bomb shoot bowling. While I think about where I can find 7 more Skulltulas. There's one in here.
Man, maybe I'll just skip this problem set. Because I can't even grade my work. It's just like boring.
I mean, I could check you maybe.
I probably should just do it.
What's the subject?
So the first one was counting vowels. And now I have to count the number of times the word Bob appears in a string.
Uh-huh.
And then the last problem is um, printing the longest substring in which letters happen alphabetically.
Interesting. I'd be interested to watch what your thought process. But I'm in the middle of something.
I'll
Oh, I
I'll
just
just do this later. I don't want to do this. What's next? Show your
Chicken,
appreciation.
please. Thank you.
Oh, now a lecture. Maybe there's stuff I haven't learned yet. Let's see what other people did. This is a boring dev stream, so don't watch. Whoops.
Move, chicken, move.
Why does Couchbot post my stream like 3 times every single time? So weird.
bomb shoes cost 200, so I guess it's good there's some at the building.
Yeah. Those are fucking expensive. That's crazy. Ugh. Alright, well, there's nothing about true bowling. Okay, so besides that, there weren't any other like minigame things to do.
Not that I can think of.
There's slingshot minigame in the forest.
Maybe we should
Oh.
change channels.
Wait, I don't have magic.
Oh, yeah.
I can't
Yes,
cheat.
please.
Dang. There's nothing here. I got a sculpture, I guess. I'm out, I guess. Mm,
We haven't found Ruto's letter either.
no. It'd be really bad if something important was big pose and Epona's song was locked behind song time check. That'd be awful.
Well, I think I, I don't think you do need a Epona. I was running around in Hyrule Field as an adult, and there were Poes appearing.
Well, regular pose appear. Big pose look different. They might
Okay.
require Epona. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't have arrows. Like I didn't have enough arrows to kill him at the time, so I just kept
Uh-huh.
going.
I think I'm missing a bunch of sculptures to death.
Nope. Minigame gave you nothing. Okay.
Oh, I missed a chest in Fire Temple so
Oh, you
far.
did?
It's just a heart container. Never mind. So that way is blocked by a Song of Time block. That way requires explosives. And the other way requires a key.
See, are there gold Skulltulas in Zora's domain before you get outside to Jabu Jabu?
I don't think so.
I can't think of any. I'm at 25 right now. 5 more. I might have to go to GTG. Okay, how easy is that clip past King Zora?
So
That was a short walk.
yeah. I don't want to be gone for long. We have something cooking, so I kind of got chicken. I was like, I don't
It's
know.
also dark outside.
I like leaving the stove on. We just wanted Olive to get some outside time.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
All right, what's up here? EIOU. Number of vowels.
I'm looking at solutions for the other one. So the second one I could have done, but I didn't. I don't think I could do the third one. Like it would take me a long time for me to come up with that. I mean, it wouldn't take that long. It would just be like annoying. I'm too lazy right now. But I need to learn this stuff, I think. I need to grind out the vocab and the syntax.
Yeah. Let me see what is this.
So the
Longest alphabetical substring.
yeah was for 3, and the second one was counting the number of times the string Bob occurs within a separate um within another string.
So, are these graded? I don't understand how this is supposed to work.
So yeah, if you take this course for credit, it's all graded.
So someone will actually look at your stuff.
Yeah, there's like TAs.
See.
But the thing is, so I'm auditing this course, so I basically take it whenever I want to. But the other thing is that I can't submit these now because they're overdue. So like,
Oh,
I just feel demotivated for doing these.
Brian and I could have reviewed it.
That's what Brian, yeah, Brian was like, I'll check it for you. So I'm just like, no, I don't want to be ridiculed by my friends.
I mean, you're streaming yourself writing it, so
Yeah.
I don't. I don't think there's. I feel like it's not a big leap.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's getting to real coding exercising, I guess.
Yeah. So I don't really remember what the solution said. So I'll go ahead and try to do problem 3.
So longest substring. The letters occur in alphabetical order.
So
Have they taught you how to compare characters?
no, I think there's like reference material that I'm supposed to use for these problems is the other thing. Um, like for the course, there's supposed to be like other reference material I'm supposed to use
Mm-hmm.
that I don't think I have. Or like I'm supposed to read about it or something. But it's basically like B is more than A, right? And C is more than B.
Yes. If you ignore case, it tells you it's a string of lowercase k. Yeah, that simplifies things. Yeah, strings can be compared with the less than or greater than or equality operators, right? But less than or greater than is a little tougher to understand than equals. But for single characters, it's like some cases are pretty easy to recognize. Like B is after A, so uh, that'll hold that A is less than B. But like whether A is less than like space is something that would be a little more weirder to explain, I guess. Oh, interesting. The REPL.it has like pretty handy code completion.
Yeah, it does. I
It brings
started
up
to.
like the function, the description, and the arguments.
I started to like this a lot more.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like like an online IDE. Like people have these environments where the program doesn't just it's not just text entering, but it like intelligently helps you out.
hmm
I didn't realize that REPL.it was kind of like an online IDE. Here's one little trick that might be nice to know is that you can provide multiple arguments to print separated by commas, and it'll automatically convert each one to a string. So you could write
Oh, I could
longest
do
substring in
like.
alphabetical order is comma longest.
Okay. I've already defined. I already am setting
So
longest as a string. I'm kind of
yeah,
the way I'm approaching this. I'm kind of going like outside in, if that makes sense. Who is that?
I think Brian unmuted or something, and then there's an echo.
Oh no, it's James.
Oh, it's James. Yeah.
James. Oh, he disconnected.
What was I saying? Uh,
Now it's muted.
Yeah, no, outside in is kind of it's not a bad way to think about it. If honestly, like one way that helps to think about programs often is in terms of input and output, like what comes in and what do you get out, and then to fill out and then to fill the middle, right? Like
hmm
if you think of it in chunks like that, where like I want this chunk to do this with this, kind of like a.
Have you made your function yet?
I don't think he's done any functions.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
I think I need a separate thing.
I'm naked.
Me too.
Nice.
We're so in sync.
Nice.
Legitimately naked.
No, I'm not actually.
Oh, I am.
James found out that that guy stole his identity, so he now got rid of his identity.
No
Yeah.
clothes, no
through the
glasses.
through the glass. Yeah.
No clothes, no problem.
Okay, so
Problem solved. Yeah.
All right, Brian. I need one gold Skulltula spot.
Are y'all still playing Zelda?
Yeah.
Is it
Gotta
a
be there.
speed run?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm timing it, but
Yeah, you guys have been playing since like noon.
It was like one.
we're at 6
One.
hours.
Oh, what the
23
heck?
minutes.
Did you get the one in Dodongo's Cavern?
Does
Or in,
alphabetical
not
mean
Dodongo.
something
Did you
in
get the one in
Python?
Goron
I
City?
can't hear. So many things going on.
It's like on the back of the post.
I'm changing channels.
Yeah.
Get
Call this thing. Um, I think 4 is the wrong way to go. Oh wait, no, maybe not. I can be like if letter thing. Well, I'm forgetting shit. Be like longest equal. str thing plus letter. Else longest equal. Yeah, maybe this will work. No.
If letter. What is thing?
I just said, I don't know how to put it, so I just said thing. Like, I wanted it to, like, look at the letter and compare it to the previous letter. So the letter that it's currently looking at is thing.
The letter that it's currently looking at is thing.
That don't seem right. Oh, maybe that is.
You just say maybe like next letter or something.
Yeah, I'll call it next. I'll call it next. That seems like it's something. I'm just gonna call it thing.
Next is a built-in function.
No, wait, this can't all not be in alphabetical order. Let's do something that definitely has. We'll do A, B, C, and then we'll do like B, A, B, C, C, D. Okay, so this should give me A, B, C, D. No, it did not work. So I set thing as nothing. Then
If you want something to be an empty string, you should probably not have put a space in the middle. That's kind of like a
oh, you just do like this?
just two quotes is an
Okay.
empty string. Because what you've defined is a string of length 1 where it contains a space. Just
Maybe I do need, I'll do current, and I'll do next. No, following. Maybe I do need multiple things. Or wait, I think I've confused myself with the language I'm using. Let's go back to this. If letter Oh, I forgot to set thing equals letter. Oh wait, maybe I do need like a current. Current longest equals. No, because it gives me letter already. I guess I need to compare it to because this will reset thing. So my string will only be like 2 characters long, I think.
yeah, I
And
think that's correct. As it currently stands,
and this is also incorrect, but I'll fix this later. I think I need a third thing. to define like the last looked at variable or last looked at character or whatever. The for letter, if letter is I'll do current equals letter, and then if this is more than oh wait, no. I'm just gonna thing is I can just do this, right? Longest. Else it just stays the same. Woo! Easy money. I think I got
Wait.
it. We gotta test it out. So this should be,
Did it print ABCD?
yeah. Maybe I can increase the font size. Settings. Dark theme. Huge font. I can't increase the font size on this one though. Let's do large font. Weird. So this should be, if this works, AZ. But it should be big. Okay, so I'm not entirely there.
Letter greater than current.
Oh, I do need a third thing for my I'll just call this temp. Plus letter. So if I run into another string, you have to do
I gotta run to finish cooking, but I feel like I should leave you off with something.
I think I'm
Basically, to say that I think your current code is only ever really comparing or operating on single characters, right? But that's not necessarily what you want.
I don't think so because I got A B C D earlier.
Wait, so you're how does it work? You're appending to temp. as long as.
I think my grammar is somewhere wrong here, but basically it's like it takes a string until it runs into a new alphabetical order. So
Mhm.
right now it's going A to Z, and then
Yes.
it's just stopping because A Z after that there's nothing after Z. But
Okay.
I need it to go once it hits B again down here. Well, you're probably a little behind me, but it hits B and it goes from B to E to G.
Yeah.
I need it to make that temp, and if that is longer,
I see. Okay, I think this is. It might work. I don't. I
so
don't.
this does not work currently.
I don't fully understand your code yet, but it could. I guess.
But basically, I'm saying if the next letter is greater than the current letter, it resets the temporary string,
Mm-hmm.
and then it makes it into the letter. Wait, no, it needs to be, oh,
Okay, I gotta run to cook. Just I don't know. One tip: just make sure that like like think of the strategy in your head first, and like make sure that it works. Like if you're explaining to an idiot how to find the longest alphabetical substring, like think of that and then try to translate that into code. Or if you're writing code, think of what your code is like actually, like what are the steps it's actually going through, and try to determine if that actually, because you had something before but it kind of like you didn't realize that it would stop at
yeah,
the AZ.
uh-huh.
Hmm. Well, I'll be back later probably. Well,
Okay,
depending on how long you run. All right.
see ya.
Are you becoming a dev?
Kind of.
I'm watching your stream.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
Did you listen to Edgar?
yeah, I did. He said, "You." It's funny. He's just like, write code like you're explaining it to an idiot. I'm just like, computers are idiots. They take you so literally.
Yeah, I think I have the right idea.
I don't even know what you're doing.
So right now it'll give me like a bunch of characters. So I put A B C B A B C D A. I don't know if you can see that at the top of my stream.
Yeah.
And I need to make it so that if I put in a string, it gives me the longest like list of characters that are in alphabetical order. So like in
Ah.
my case, right, it's like ABC is in alphabetical order, but later there's also ABCD. So I wanted to print ABCD, which it currently does, but it doesn't work when you go backwards. So there's a more complicated example thing they gave me, which is
And if it goes backwards?
I don't know about backwards, but like this longer one I just pasted in. Can you see it okay? I'll
Yeah.
make this font size. It's like AZ and then it has a bunch of other letters. And the longest one in alphabetical order is actually this one, Beggh, or Bech, as
Yeah.
I've been saying it. But it only will give me AZ at this point. So right now I need to figure out how to make it so that it doesn't stop at AZ. Like if I do this right here, I think it should give me, yeah, it gives me,
So it'll go in the alphabetic order, right?
uh-huh.
And then once you go backwards in the alphabet, it breaks the chain right
It
there.
it stops it for, yeah. So I'm not sure. It worked in my other one because in my other one it gave me A B C D. It didn't give me A B C.
That's
But
because D is after the alphabet of ABC, whereas Z is the end of the alphabet.
yeah,
It probably
well,
just stops.
so I need it to like reset. So like, oh, maybe I'll do like, this is what I need to do actually.
Does it recognize longest?
Well, I defined it as longest.
Because if I were to write something like that, what I would do is like go sequentially in the alphabet, right? And then once that's broken, everything that started the count to the end, count it. And then if that number is the biggest number, then print that. Print that sequence. You know?
Well, I basically need like three separate things, which are my things
Mhm.
up here. One is the letter I'm looking at right now. The other one is uh like the length of the longest string I found, or actually just the longest string I found. And the other one is the length of the current, or just the current string I found. So AZ would be the first one, and
Can you have
that's,
it start over, ignoring previous found records?
well, yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm making it so that it just sets, so the plan is if I start at A and I go to Z, it'll say, okay, so A is more than nothing. So it'll say temp is A, and then current is A. And then it'll go to the next letter, which is Z, and it'll say, okay, Z is more than A, so the temporary one is going to be the temporary, which is A, plus the new one, which is Z. And
Did you
so,
define the letters to have numerical value or something?
no, they automatically do, where like this, as they're all lowercase, basically B is greater than A, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um,
They're basically
they're in
valued
order,
at 1
yeah.
through 26 or something.
Yeah, exactly. If they're all lowercase. So I'm definitely on the right track right now. So now I have to say if it goes backwards, so now it goes to C. So C is not greater than Z. So we're gonna break this and I'll jump to this. Then my longest will equal whatever I find, and then my temp will reset itself.
You moved the C before the Z.
Did I? I did. The temp will reset itself. And then
Then start over, right? From that point. I could see it as two
and
ways.
then it jumps back up to here.
You could either reset it. It's probably resetting to the beginning and then just getting a Z over and over and over. Or I don't know. I don't know.
No, this is because the way this for works is that it'll go to each letter sequentially. So it starts at A. A is more than nothing. So temp will be A. Z is more than A, so temp will be A plus Z. C is less than Z, so then longest will be AZ, and temp will go back to nothing, and then it'll go back to the very, very, very beginning because it ran out of things to do. So
Mm-hmm.
technically this would be, which means it'll go to the next letter, which is B. And then, oh wait, so B is, I don't want it to go back. I don't want longest to go to 0. So here's a trick right here. Here's a problem. Longest equals temp. And then I reset temp. Oh, I'll do len temp greater than longest. Then else longest equal longest. So now it's saying if the length of temp is greater than the length of my current longest string, then it'll change and temp will reset. Okay, I think this will work. No, it didn't work. Maybe you're right. Maybe just like stopping at AZ and then starting over at AZ. But then it wouldn't end because it... Okay, that makes sense. But if I do this, now it only gives me ABC. Interesting. Interesting. Hmm. Maybe my problem is this. Is this else at the end? No. Maybe I should cover this case first.
It sounds hard. I'm going back to something easy like modding Skyrim.
I don't
I
think
can
it's
save
that
it.
hard.
Yeah, it looks fun actually. Like puzzles.
It's not like, I don't think it's puzzles. It's more like just like trying to understand like the technical definition of like a request. Like, or maybe like
Yeah,
what's happening in
sounds
your
like a puzzle to
brain.
me.
I guess so. I don't want to think of it like a puzzle. Yeah, it kind of is a puzzle. No, it's a little more freeform than a puzzle. Anyways.
Yeah, but I like it. It's more freeform than a puzzle because there's more than one right answer. But it's still like filling in the blanks between A and B.
Yeah. Yeah, the way I did it was kind of like I went like outside in. So that's sort of like a puzzle like way of doing it, I think. I gotta figure out why this isn't working. Maybe I need to like nest another if inside here instead. Or I'm messing up here somewhere. What are you up to right now, Preston?
Modding Skyrim. But I'm also looking at what you're doing because it seems cool. I'm interested to know how you solve it, how you crack the code.
I think I have a pretty sequential way of thinking overall. Okay, so for a letter in S, if the letter is greater than current, temp will equal temp plus letter, so it'll just be A. And then current will also equal A. And then longest will also equal A. Then it'll loop back to here. It'll go back to here for a letter in S, which will be Z. Z is greater than current, which is A. Oh, maybe I'm forgetting this. Nope, that didn't help. I think this is all right. I feel like this is the problem somewhere. Maybe len is the wrong thing.
I don't even know what it means.
It's just doing the length. Or let's see, the
Oh,
number of items in a container. What happened? I lost internet connection or something. Or my connection to this thing.
I don't think you lost internet connection because I'm talking to you.
Yeah, no, like this temporary Python thing. Hmm. Maybe it just stops after the first else. So I need to like put this inside of something else. I don't know. Let's see what this guy wrote. Prev letter equal longest equal current equal nothing. basically what I said. For letter in string. Current is letter. Oh, this guy did a bunch of weird stuff. This is confusing because this guy used current and I also used current, but they're different currents. But I get what he's saying. So his current is my temp, and his pre-letter is my current. So he's saying current temp is equal to the letter greater than or equal to the previous letter. And the current. Or if it's not, then it's just equal to the letter. Because mine's resetting. So maybe I need to do this. Something like this. I don't think that makes sense. It was close. It was a lot closer. Why did this make a difference? I must find out. Maybe because it's skipping. Yeah, okay. Okay, I get it now. I figured this out. Bam!
Why is it skipping?
So what was happening was I was resetting my string once it went back. So once it hit C here, it would reset to nothing, but then it wouldn't factor in the C. It would just go to the next letter and make it B. Also, I think I closed my thing. Let's open that up again.
Oh, it wouldn't go back to that. It wouldn't make the letter that failed the test the new beginning.
Yeah, exactly. And I needed it to do that. So I was on the right track, made a silly mistake, but we got it.
Nice.
Whoo! All right, I think that might be it. I was only gonna do this problem set for today's dev stream. It's already 9 o'clock. How, how long is this lecture?
In the last lecture, we added looping variants. We had for loops, we had while loops, we had the notion of iteration. We used that to start generating some examples of guess and check algorithms. In this lecture, we're going to go back to that idea, but extend it, and we're going to add in another kind of data type, a string. We talked about it a little bit earlier on, but we're going to use it to actually look at ways to generate algorithms that can start to do some more interesting kinds of things. Just to review, I want to remind you what we did inside of loops. Here's an example of some code that's going to compute a square root of something. And it does it by running through a loop. As we've done before, it's going to set up an initial value, which it gets here by inputting something that enters an integer. And then it's going to run through a little while loop where it does guess and check. It keeps trying different versions of answers, starting at 0, then 1, then 2, going on until it sees whether that answer squared is bigger than or equal to x. Once it gets to that point, it checks to see if it's actually the square is equal to x, in which case it prints out that it's found the cube root. And if not, it tells me that it's not a perfect cube. And just depending on whether it was a positive or negative thing, it gives me a little bit of additional information. You can look through the code. I'm not going to run it. What I want you to see is that idea of guess and check. I generate values for answer until I get to a point where either I'm done and I have the answer or I've gone too far. And again, as before, I've got something where I'm setting up the variable outside and I'm changing the variable inside with a test that depends on it. We're going to use that idea as we generalize, but I want to remind you of what loops do.
And some of these mods are just like,
And as before,
Are there
you have to be the ultimate neckbeard to write these words out.
are there boob physics mods?
Oh yeah, I'm just reading some of these mods.
I knew it.
There's one called the Sexy Move mod.
Oh my god.
The description is just tired of all the female NPCs moving the same uninspired way. All
Oh my god.
females.
I don't want this on my dev stream, Preston.
Oh wait,
I'm just kidding.
sorry.
I'm just kidding.
Well, the point is, this isn't not safe for work. It's just called that. It's just like now they choose one of at random, one of 9 little quirky moves that they do to say hello to you. I'm like, what?
That's funny.
Can't they just say hello like normal people? The last thing that they want out of these mods is realism.
Alright, I'll do this. Oh, this exercise is long as fuck. I'll do this exercise and I'll call it a day. I'll leave my code up there so that Edgar can see it when he's done cooking. I don't know what this stuff means. Never mind. I think I'm gonna end my dev stream. I gotta
answer
wait
equal answer plus 1, I could use
for
plus
Edgar
equal
to
as
come
a
back
variation of it.
so that he can look at my code.
We also talked about strings earlier, and I just want to remind you of
Uh-huh.
those because we're going to use them in this lecture as well. Think of strings as a sequence of characters. In fact, case-sensitive characters. For letters, could be lowercase or uppercase. As with numbers, I can compare them. I can say if two strings are equal by using the double equal sign. I can use greater than or less than, using lexicographic order to decide if two strings are greater than or less than each other.
Lexicographic order.
Length can give me the number of things in the string. And as we saw before, we can use square brackets to do indexing into a string. We can get the 0th element. Remember, it starts at 0. The first element, the second element. And if I have a string 3 long and I try and get something 3 or bigger, it's going to complain, telling me that I've tried to access beyond the end of the string. We also saw slicing in strings. This lets us go into a string and pull out pieces of the string. And here we saw we can specify a start point, a stop point, and how many steps to take as we do the accessing. And that lets us pull out different elements out of a string. One unusual thing we haven't seen before is if the step is -1, we actually access the string in reverse order. There it is right there. Otherwise, if we say, for example, start with the element 3, it says 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. So I start here, and I stop just before the 6th one. So 3, 4, 5. I'm going to pull that out, which gives me the piece that I wanted there. One last thing about strings is that they are what we call an immutable type. You can't change them. They can't be modified. And to see that, let me do a little example. I've shown it on the slide, but let me actually type it in over here. I'm going to define the string s to be, I'm going to define the name s to be the string hello. If I print out s, it gives me back. If I say what's the type of s, it tells me that it's a string, which is great. I can certainly index it by saying, give me the 0th element of s. But if I wanted to change the 0th element of s, for example, saying,
How's
I want to have the
math
0th
going?
element
How are
of
your
s
classes going? You and
be
Angela.
the character
It's
y.
hard.
Oh
I
damn,
mean, I'm
really?
doing fine.
It's going to complain. I can't go in and
Do
change
you guys have like a lot of
piece
homework?
S. We're going to see other structures where
Yeah,
we can
not
do that. That are
really.
called
Oh,
Kind
okay,
immutable
of.
that's good.
strings.
Like,
It's
Again,
always
I can't say I want
it's
the
due
0th
on
element
Sunday
of s
once a
to be
week, so
1.
it's not that much.
I can change it, but I have
How
to
did Angela
redefine
do
it.
on the
So I could
first
say let
exam?
s be the character y
Not that great.
plus the rest of s starting
You guys
You
ever-
get
at
one freebie basically though, because the
And I
final
could, in
is
fact,
the
say
easiest
until I get to
test,
the
and
length
Oh,
of
okay.
s, or I can just
erases
say
the
1 all the way on to the
lowest
end.
test grade.
That's cool.
And now, if I look at s, it's yellow.
If you need some
Misspelled
math
for yellow.
tutoring, hit me up.
Point is, I've now changed
Okay.
the definition
She
for s.
would like
So I
that,
can't change
except
it
you're far
individually.
away.
I have to redefine s.
We'll do
And that's why I
virtual
say
tutoring.
strings are immutable.
Okay.
One of the things I would suggest to you is,
I'm
if
actually
you're not
thinking
sure what a
about,
command does, look it up or try
Picking
it
up
out
like
yourself.
a part-time
That'll give you a
work
sense of the
as
different things you
tutoring
can do with strings as you move along.
to keep my math
And here,
skills
just to remind
sharp.
you, s was initially bound to hello.
Yeah.
When I do the last
right
call,
now it's just
I'm
like
changing that binding and redefining it
the
to
unit
be
circle.
a changed new version of a string.
That stuff's tricky,
The
man.
original string is still
It's
stuck
really
in memory.
annoying.
It's just floating around.
It's
I
like
can't access it anymore.
unnecessarily stupid.
Finally, remember for loops.
It's
a
like
quick
so
recap.
different
We
from
have
like
that idea of having a
normal,
loop variable that
quote
iterates
unquote,
over a set
normal
of
math.
values. And we can
Yeah.
either do that with simple things like the range shown here, which is going to go from 0 up to 4, but I could also do it starting at 4, going up to 8. Expressions inside the loop are going to be executed for each value of the variable that I use. And so range is a nice way to
Why is
iterate
it
over
so
numbers,
impossible to get normal
but a
looking
loop,
outfits
a
on
for
this
loop
site?
variable can iterate over any set of values, not just numbers.
Nobody
And so,
wants
for
realism.
example, I could loop over strings. That sounds kind of neat. So here's a simple little piece of code. I've defined s to be a string, the first set of letters in the alphabet. And I can now write a for loop that says, loop for the index over the range of the length of s. Boy, that's a lot of words. Let's say it a little bit better. It says, I'm going to see how long is s, and then I'm going to use range to generate the integers from 0 up to s, the length of s minus 1. I'm going to call that index. And then I could run through a loop that says if
And then every now and then it'll be the
element of
most
S at that
simple, mundane thing that someone had to put work into to make the game even slightly more realistic.
point is either an I or a U, I'm going to print out a little piece of information. No big deal. That just looks like a normal loop over integers.
This whole mod, and it's one of the top downloaded
could also
mods
write it
on the whole site, is just called Lanterns of Skyrim, and it's just like, in this game that they don't have lanterns, so I added some lanterns
so
where I thought that they would be.
I love that.
That's the whole thing.
So
And it's one of
wholesome.
the most downloaded things on the site.
It's because it's
And
just
you-
one of those little touches, man.
Yeah, and you can pick the lantern up and walk
man.
around with it.
That's awesome.
This way.
And there's also
I could say
the
loop,
when it's
push.
nighttime, it's dark, so you need the lantern, and people love that.
That's awesome.
Character in S. And that's
There are
kinda
two
cool.
cloak
S is
mods
something
in the
we call
top
an
5
iterable. It says I
or top 10. So it's just like all it did was add cloaks and capes to the game, like something that should have been there probably.
can actually write a loop that lets characters start.
But if you
with the
want
first
just
element of
normal
S,
clothes, there
and then the
no,
second
no,
element of
no.
S, and then
Everything's
the
got to
third
have
element of
spikes.
S, doing the same
Everything's
kind
got
of
to cover no
as I
skin.
move along. And it will do this until it runs out of characters in S, in which case it will execute or exit from the loop rather and move on to other kinds of things. That second piece of code is much cleaner. It's easier to see what I'm doing. I'm looping for all the characters in a string, as opposed to saying I'm looping for an index over all the indices into the string. And that's one of the nice things about both strings and especially about loops. I can iterate over anything where I can successively enumerate each of the elements of that piece. So now I've got strings as something which I can use as parts of loops, and that's really nice. Let me give you one last example, sort of a fun example. I'm going to set up a little loop that is going to run over basically a set of words. And what is it going to do inside of here? I got a little while loop here that says as long as
Sometimes
rephrase it.
the
I'm gonna
mods.
input a word
Are you still streaming?
based on some
Yeah,
input I give them.
I think I am.
Never
And
mind.
what it's going to do is it's going to loop
I'm just
over
listening to
all of the
lecture right
things
now,
inside
though.
of the word, basically saying
Okay.
if the character in
I was
the
gonna
word
say this is fine. Sometimes the what is it? The mods really surprise me because sometimes I don't expect like I don't know. They're all almost so self-explanatory in their titles of what they do, but then sometimes I'm just like I'm going through these most downloaded, and I'm like, why is this most downloaded? And it's just like underwear replacement, and I'm like, oh, great. You know, I expecting the worst out of it, and then you click it, and then you read the description. It's just like the default underwear in this game doesn't look very realistic at all. So I've replaced it with realistic looking, and it is. It's just normal. It's not like over the top crazy stuff that everything else is. And I'm like, you know what? That's a good point. Like the dude's boxers don't look. They look like someone just painted his lower region, and he's like, these are what boxers look like, and then they're just normal. And I'm like, you know what? Those are right. You've surprised me. The one in a million. But I'm not downloading that. It's a waste of. My game has to load that. Something that you never see unless you lose all your equipment somehow.
word is in a special set of characters. I'm going to print out something based on that. If it's not, I'm going to print out something different based on that. And then I'm going to increment I, and I'm going to keep going. So again, it's a while loop, but I'm using the character inside there to loop over particular elements of a string. Let's see what this does. So here's the code, and if I load it into my environment, it says I'm going to cheer for you. Give me a word. So we'll give it the best word I know, which is, let me just get it over here, which is MIT. And it says, how enthusiastic are you about MIT? Well, I like MIT a lot, so I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. And it says, I'm not going to repeat it all, but give me an M. M, give me an I, give me a T. T, what is it spelled? And it prints it all out. All right. says I'm going to cheer. If it's not, I'm going to print out something different. I'm going to print out something based on that. Is in a
Oh, this
special
is the
set.
greatest mod of
Basically,
all
it's going to
time.
loop over all of the things inside of the word, basically
Somebody
saying,
wrote, "Isn't it strange that if you want armor, you have to literally become an armor smith?" They're like, "This mod allows you to hire someone whose job that already is, and make them make you armor."
I'm going to set up a little loop.
So it just gives you a guy that makes you armor.
But it allows the weaponsmiths that already exist. You can pay them a certain amount of money to create armor for you, to create a specific set.
Oh, okay.
Because there are some that are craftable, right? And the only way to get them is to literally
Make
become an armor smith and create them. And they're like, there are people whose job this is.
That is going to run over basically a set of words. And what is it going to do inside of here? I got a little while loop here that says, as long as, rephrase it. I'm going to input a word based on some input I give there. And what it's going to do is it's going to loop over all of the things inside of the word, basically saying if the character in the word is in a special set of characters, I'm going to print out something based on that. If it's not, I'm going to print out something different based on that. And then I'm going to increment I, and I'm going to keep going. So again, it's a while loop, but I'm using the character inside there to loop over particular elements of a string. Let's see what this does. So here's the code, and if I load it into my environment, it says I'm going to cheer for you. Give me a word. So we'll give it the best word I know, which is, let me just get it over here, which is MIT. And it says, how enthusiastic are you about MIT? Well, I like MIT a lot, so I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. And it says, I'm not going to repeat it all, but give me an M. M, give me an I, give me a T. T, what is it spelled? And it prints it all out. All right, it's a lame example, but you know what? I'm from MIT, I like it. What I want you to see is how I'm looping over, especially here, in this place right in here, I'm using the loop over a set of strings in order to be able to decide what I'm going to do. And why am I doing that? Because if it's something that is a vowel, I don't want to say give me a. I want to say give me an A. If it's something like an M that we pronounce that way, I want to say give me an M. Whereas in the other cases, I want to say just give me a C, give me a D. Okay, cute example, key point. I've now got two different loops going on here. The outer one is walking through each of the elements of the word. That's this one right here. And that's just doing the standard thing where I've set an iteration variable outside, right there. I'm changing it inside the loop. But in the loop, I've got another one, which is right here where I'm looping over all of the elements of a string. I can do it either way, and that works out really well. On that cheery note, we're going to move on to another topic.
Edgar's still not back. He's probably eating dinner right now.
He said he had to cook dinner and then eat it.
Yeah. I've seen that guy cook too. He goes all out. I'm
Oh
always
yeah.
kind of like, I think it's ready.
Once it's past the point of edible, I eat it.
I mean, I don't know. I care an amount about cooking. And I like cooking a lot. But maybe if there were more people that I was cooking for. But when it's
I
just
have
for me,
two.
it's like I don't care that much. When I cook for my friends, I go all out.
I have two modes where I literally just want it to be edible and nutritious, and I just eat it as soon as I like. I question: do I have to cook this, or can I eat it raw? And if I can eat it raw, I just do. And then the other is a personal challenge to create the most delicious flavor I can. And it just depends on whether that is what I'm hyper focusing on at that moment.
Yeah, part of my motivation for cooking is like health stuff too, and I don't want to look at food as like an indulgent thing when I'm in that mode.
Yeah.
All right, end of dev stream. You can look at my code if you want to, Edgar. Future Edgar. Bye bye.
Bye, future Edgar.